Roy Wood Jr. is going to join us here momentarily. Stugotz, you should have heard Stugotz and Greg Cody conspiring during the break. Greg Cody offering up, and Stugotz is very good at this as well, just naming podcasts. So Greg Cody offered that if he were Roy Wood Jr., what he would end up doing is doing a show early on in the day and just calling it Morning Wood.
Yeah, great idea.
That is his idea to.
I'm sure he's never heard that one.
He's never heard that before.
It's a great idea.
I don't know if it's a great idea
welcome.
or not. It's an idea.
Your last name is Wood. You do a podcast in the morning called Morning Wood.
Yeah,
How is that not a good idea?
Okay, we'll ask him in a second. He is blowing up as he has been for years. He's been tapped to host Have I Got News for You? It's CNN's adaptation of a comedy panel show that they've done in the UK for a while. Before we get to that, though, if you want comedy, here's a close-up look at Stugotz's hot take face as he tells you before last year's postseason why it is that he did not fear the eventual Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Everyone back off and give him a lot of room here because this is a master craft. This is a work of the highest order. He's a sculptor. Everyone out of the way.
Dan, this time of year, everyone talks about teams they don't want to see come playoff time. I want to talk about a team that I actually want to see come playoff time. I want to see the Chiefs. I want Patrick Mahomes strolling into my stadium with max confidence. I want Travis Kelce. I want Taylor Swift. I want the team that lost to Jordan Love. I want the team that lost to Aiden O'Connell. I want the team that trailed 17-0 to Jake Browning. That is the team that I would like to face in the playoffs. That's the team, indeed, that I would want to face in the playoffs because that team is not very good. I have been saying for years there is something off in Kansas City. Last year, that take didn't go so well for me. They won the Super Bowl. This year, it's going very, very well. They are 10-6. They're down. The offense is not what it used to be. The defense doesn't travel well. They're good at home, not great on the road. If I'm a playoff team, I don't want Flacco. I don't want Mike Tomlin. I don't want any of those teams. The teams that I want strolling into my stadium, Kansas City Chiefs.
Shocking. Just
I do.
Simply shocking.
And I'm being serious.
I know. We all saw that you were being serious.
I mean, something's off there.
You have said this, and you have now said it publicly.
Yeah.
Stugotz saying for 2 years that there's something off in Kansas City while they win both titles is just magical.
Eventually, I'll get it right. I mean, something's off in Kansas City.
Are you sure? Are you sure? They strolled into Buffalo. They strolled into Baltimore with that defense, the second youngest in the league, and they did fine.
They strolled into everywhere.
Yes, they did. The Democratic Convention is this week, and Roy Wood Jr., he's got shows this week in New York, Rhode Island, and Virginia. He's off to Jersey, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, and more. You can get your tickets, roywoodjr.com. Let's start here because I know they talked about it some on Friday, but Nicolas Cage, this seems like a weird, unless he's going to wear prosthetic fat suit, I don't know how he's going to play John Madden, but let's get to Frank Caliendo here. 17 years before Roy hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Frank Caliendo did John Madden in 2006. Let's listen to that sound.
I love John Madden because he makes me feel smart. He tells you things you already know. He doesn't give you any new information, just sits there with the NFL skadoodle drawing circles on guys' body parts. John Madden will say things like, if the quarterback, if he throws the ball and a receiver, if he catches it in the end zone, that's gonna bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay. That's gonna be a touchdown.
I don't understand this one, Roy. Welcome to the show, but I don't see Nicolas Cage as John Madden. Do you?
With respect to Nicolas Cage and his catalog, I don't see it either. You cannot nail that voice any better than my man Frank Caliendo, who, mind you, worked on that voice for well over a decade and a half. I'm not saying Nicolas Cage can't act. I'm not saying he can't pull a Brendan Fraser prosthetic chub suit, whatever that. I don't remember the movie. You remember the movie, Brendan Fraser?
Where he
was like
the whale. Yes,
yeah,
600 pounds.
So yeah, we don't even need to go 600 to be Madden. What do you need? 330? He's a husky dude.
Yeah, you got to be thicker than Nicolas Cage is, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't like it, but then, I also thought that Christian Bale wouldn't be a good Batman, and I was proven wrong, so maybe I'll just shut up. I have a loose question before we get into everything else, just off of Stugotz. Is it me, and I say this with respect, is it me or the Kansas City Chiefs one of the most boring dynasties? Like, think about the documentary of everything we've seen. What would be the part of the documentary go, oh, I can't wait to see that part?
Right. No, you're 100% right. It is the most boring dynasty in the history of sports, in the history of dynasties.
Really?
And I'm afraid it's coming to an end because something is off this year, Roy, in Kansas City.
Here we go again.
I don't think there's anything off. I just think Kansas City, as a town, they close at 9 p.m. So you can't get into the same cocaine-fueled debauchery that you could in New York, or Plaxico Burress shoot yourself in the leg. Like, you can't get into the Miami drama. But it's like I like to see teams dominate, but I kind of, we need a couple of arrests. Somebody got to go to jail this year so they can rally around them, right?
I mean, I think they've had some of that, right? They've had the coach's son as an assistant coach.
That's not a player. That's not a player. It's close, but you can sweep that. You can go a little bit of Tyreek Hill if you want. If you want to find a little bit of drama, but then they got him out of there. That was pre-dynasty, to be honest.
So you need arrests. Taylor Swift isn't interesting enough to you.
High profile.
The best quarterback isn't interesting. No, you need arrests.
If Kelsey cheated on Taylor Swift with a Chiefs cheerleader, I think that's enough juice to get the Chiefs back in that proper driver's seat. You got a good 12-5 squad right there rallying around that tight end.
I mean, he's right, Dan. They went into Baltimore last year. They won 17-10. Boring.
This is what you guys are doing, as if the Patriots. So we need spy scandals. We need deflated footballs.
Yes.
This is what we need. Okay.
That's what you need, man.
What about
you
Rashee
need
Rice?
scandals.
Rashee Rice, drag racing.
He's been arrested enough for everybody.
There you go.
Needs to be Kelsey or Mahomes, I think.
Okay,
Roy.
so now it needs to be a star that gets arrested.
Yes, the documentary. You want to see Rashee Rice? Is that who you want? You want him sitting down in the chair?
That's all we got.
All right. So Roy is not only an expert on the White House Correspondents' Dinner, he's also an expert at throwing out the first pitch. So I'm curious what your thoughts here are. The Mets had the Hawk Tua girl do the honors on the first pitch. They had the grimace thing. Are you somebody who is pro-overt pandering here to the cultural phenomenons of the moment?
No, you have to get people that people like. I just didn't know that the Mets would be the ones to get the Hawk Tua girl the way the White Sox suck. I figured Hawk Tua would.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. Yes, that would
respect,
be. Yes.
With respect to White Sox fans, I don't want any drama from you. But
okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to say this respectful because I don't want to get you a terms and conditions strike on all your streaming channels. I've never seen one person get more exposure from pretending to be good at oral sex, and we've never seen any. Imagine a porn star whose porn you never saw. Do you understand how amazing of a magic trick that is?
It is. It is. It's for our time.
She's getting appearance fees all over the place. They're hiring her get your money, ma'am. Get your money. But this is an amazing grift in this country that you can be famous for. Here's how I would do it, but I don't even. It's like being famous off a sex tape with no sex tape.
It is what it's like.
Now we're doing Morning Wood.
Now we are doing Morning Wood. We are doing. How do you feel about the show idea Morning Wood, Roy, where you come on in the morning?
I pitched it when I was on in Birmingham. It was rejected unequivocally across the board. I pitched it again when I did mornings in Atlanta. Same game.
We'll take it.
Wow.
As a Cubs fan, you must enjoy that the White Sox are this kind of bad and resorting to first pitches with the Hawk Tua girl.
You can't root for that type of pain. You can't. You can't root for a team to lose 20 games in a row. You want competitive losers. You want a nice, tight division where from first to last, it's like an 8-game separation. That's the kind of pain you want. Nobody wants to get called up from AAA to just lose and lose and lose and lose. It's unfortunate. It really is. I kind of want to see a little more losing, but it's still unfortunate. That's the documentary you want to see is 20 Days in Southside and just the misery of that.
They're 30-95. They're on pace to break the all-time record of the 62 Mets, viewed as the worst team in the history of baseball. They won 42 times. The White Sox are actually on pace to be the worst ever.
I don't know if they'll break the Mets record. And oddly enough, I still think the Mets will still be seen as the worst team just because Mets and the reputation of it all. And the Sox actually had, let's not forget, we're talking about a team that has a World Series title in this millennium. So let's be respectful. They know how to win. I hope they figure it out and get it back. But I don't know, man, because I think that when you root for a team to lose and they just keep losing and keep losing and keep losing, that's just a depression. And you don't want that in the clubhouse, right? Like, what do you do as the GM? You can't trade everybody. Clearly, it wasn't Tim Anderson's fault.
Right.
He's been vindicated.
Mm-hmm. I think you get fired. I mean, I don't know.
Has he got DFA'd?
Yeah. Fired.
But he got out of there. He came to the Marlins.
And he was terrible.
Then they traded everybody. You can trade everybody.
We've done it multiple times.
Is this your semi-sure bet of the week? I don't know how it's been doing, but do we have a semi-sure bet of the week this week?
Let's not bring up the past, Dan. Let's not bring up past semi-sure bets. I feel that a lot of your viewers have way too much confidence in me. But yeah, we're going to tie it in to the DNC this week. You guaranteed semi-sure bet. Here's the breakdown, Dan. Dating back 40 years, anytime a president gives a speech at the Democratic National Convention, the White Sox win a game the next day. If the speech is under 25 minutes. You follow me so far?
Yeah.
A non-incumbent president who gives a speech at the DNC, the White Sox win the next day if the speech is under 25 minutes. This week in Chicago, you got Biden on Monday, you got Obama on Tuesday, you got Clinton on Wednesday. If all three of them speak for less than 25 minutes apiece, Chicago White Sox, 3-game winning streak, guaranteed semi-sure bet of the week, brought to you by DraftKings.
Yes.
Bet everything you own on my words right now.
No, don't do that. Don't. It's a semi-sure
Been told
bet.
you have to stop doing
Withdraw
that.
your children from college and take the
Too far,
tuition.
Roy.
This is an entertainment segment. This is not to be taken seriously.
It's reckless.
Sure.
You can't do it that way. We love your astute political commentary. Trump has made $300,000 off the Trump-branded Bible that he holds upside down for $60 a piece on his website. He's got supporters carrying around J.D. Vance-branded sperm cups to make fun of people who can't conceive children. And he's also saying things like this.
Because when Bobby Knight from Indiana endorses you, you win. Sort of like when I endorse you, you win too. I don't know, somehow, would that be okay, North Carolina? I don't think so, right? They want me to speak all day.
Okay, Bobby Knight died 10 months ago. That was Trump speaking in Pennsylvania, not basketball country in North Carolina.
Do you ever have a favorite comedian and then you see him like later on in his career and you're like, damn, these are the same jokes that I used to love, and he hasn't written any new material at all. Like, why is he still talking about Obama? He's not the president. Biden's not the president anymore. Like that part of it. What did he say also? I look better than Kamala. Why is she on the cover of Time magazine? What planet are we on? Can I have some policy points, please?
It is amazing, Roy. I was not expecting that they would be this unprepared for a shift that would then all of a sudden make Trump look like the doddering, out-of-touch old person. Like, it's been startling to see that the Democratic Party did something that is clearly made for recycled Republican jokes because that is not another move.
I think the biggest miss that we've all made as Americans in the midst of Trump mania over the last 8 to 12 years is that we could have all been making money off of weird merch. I could have made gold sneakers and sold them under a dummy account, a fake Cash App payment under an alias. Jizz cups. Do you know when I saw people selling smiling with the J, my brain immediately went into, okay, that is probably 25 cents per unit cost. If you order them at a rate of 10,000 per, you can probably get that cost down to 20 cents per. Sell those at $5 a pop at a show, and you could probably get a profit margin minus ship. And I start doing the math, and I'm like, I could have retired off of really, that's what y'all would buy? There's still time. Like, I'm still thinking about some sort of, I don't know, Stop the Steal shirt or something. I'm gonna come up with something, man.
RoyWoodJr.com is where you go if you want to buy the tickets. Congratulations on the new endeavor, by the way. When does it start and what should the people know? Because you hosting a comedy panel is kind of what I was hoping would end up being you hosting The Daily Show. This seems like a decent alternative, though.
Yeah, man. The Brits have a show called Have I Got News for You? It's been running 30 years over in England, and it's news panel. It's myself, 4 guests, and we break down all of the weird stuff that happened this week. We're doing an American remake because that's what we do in America. We flip the Brit stuff. Saturday, September 14th is the premiere at 9 p.m. Every Saturday, the entire fall, I'll be on CNN Saturday night cracking jokes and being fun and silly.
I will tell the people again, if you're in New York, Rhode Island, Virginia, Jersey, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, this guy is putting out the freshest of things. RoyWoodJr.com is where you go. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. Enjoy the week.
Done deal. All right, y'all.
Greg Cody, you brought up something earlier today. You were talking about the pool noodle javelin challenge you were doing on the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody.
Yeah.
Fine.
And you were talking about the fact that the noodle has to be straight to look through it, through the eye hole. Something else that you were doing out here in the other room while eating bacon by the shovel full. You were throwing it into your maw with your hands.
Love bacon.
You were saying that it was cooked properly. And, Roy, you're the one around us who's actually a cook. He was alleging that bacon is not properly cooked if it is limp at all, that it has to be straight as a nail file, that it has to be cooked so fried and so crisp that it doesn't have any bend to it.
Morning Wood.
Absolutely. The best bacon is crispy bacon. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. The only nuance I would give to that is that bacon can stand straight like a nail file while also being chewy. If it's too crisp, it disintegrates. I like it to have a little bit of chew in it while also being as straight as a nail file. I like the nail file analogy because a nail file is about the length of a good piece of bacon.
I've never agreed with my dad more. Every single thing he said.
I like the risk of a shard cutting me open from the inside as I swallow it.
So you like it super crisp?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Crunchy. You like crunchy
I usually
bacon.
get my pick of the litter when bacon's made because people don't like it, and I'll go and I'll get the darkest, burntest, crispiest, bacon. There it is there.
Yeah.
The opposite is inedible. I was at an unnamed breakfast restaurant just Saturday, and the bacon was so undercooked it was inedible. I had to send it back.
That happened to me on a sandwich. I spit out the sandwich. I vowed to never order it again, and I've ordered it since many times.
Sent back your bacon?
I did. It
was like rubber, though, right?
It was literally uncooked. You know, it was. If I held that on the end, it would, just all rubber band. It looked like.
This is about when he starts petering out.
Yeah.
Words become hard for him.
Thank you very much.
Chris Cody, if you doubt his bacon credentials, check him out sitting on the middle of a sofa in the middle of the Tua interview. It would not appear, Stugotz, that my assessment was wrong on the Tua thing because I'm getting a lot of texts already just with the one clip that we put out there from a lot of people in the industry that are surprised to hear Tua taking out Flores the way that he did. We will play the entirety of that interview at the end of this. He was that kind of open throughout it. I don't think he didn't take anybody else out, but I will say that he's simply speaking with a confidence that we have not heard from him publicly
Don't say
before.
that he doesn't take anyone out. Just say, guys, you cannot believe what else he said and who he took out.
Who else he took out.
Exactly right. That's how you sell it.
What are they saying about his teeth?
So far, that controversy has not gotten off the ground, but I would like more information about Stugotz and Chris because one of my favorite parts of the Tua interview was him about 4 minutes in asking, why are these other two guys here? Are they going to say anything?
He asked that?
Yes.
He did. He turned to us.
He turned to Chris and Stugotz and are like, are they just here decoratively or are they going to ask me anything?
Yeah, me. I'm here to be a decorative.
Was the answer?
You're a decoration.
Did you ask something, Chris?
I think, no, Dan was just like, yeah, they're going to jump in.
No, I think I responded by saying something about him not remembering Dan in the interview we did at Super Bowl Radio Row.
Spoiler alert, that's one of the best parts of the interview.
Why'd you bring that up?
Stugotz was sitting there hoping to be noticed by Tua drinking from his cup that had his name on it. He spent there 4 minutes just sort of trying to be seen, noticed by Tua. I wanted to get to a couple of things here that are genuine curiosities for me today. Do you guys have an answer to the question before we get Stugotz's explanation, which might be a simple one? You guys have noticed that Stugotz seems to drive here in a different car every week?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Got a clunker this week. I mean,
well, what is before we get to the real answer on this?
This hasn't been like a recent thing either. This has been several years long, Dan, dating back to like the Miami Gardens studios. Stugotz gets courtesy vehicles because his main car is always in the shop like no one I've ever seen before in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer to the question I'm asking. I always assume it's just because the authorities are closing in.
I think I know the answer because every time he tells me, "Oh, my daughter's in town."
Yes.
I think he has two cars, and then every time one of his daughters is in town, he somehow scams a dealer to give him a courtesy vehicle instead of actually having another car.
I don't scam anyone. We have 2 cars, and my daughters, they have not taken their cars to school yet, so we just have 2 cars. So when my daughters are home, and they're both home right now, it's summertime. One goes back to school next week. We rent a car. That's what we do. It's just a rental car. That's it. I'm not scamming anyone.
What does not taking their cars to school have to do with anything? If anything, you'd have a surplus of cars.
So the 2 cars are here. No, those 2 cars are here, okay? We use those 2 cars, and when they take them up to school, we'll have to purchase new cars. But for now, we're renting when they come home, you know?
I don't understand.
I don't understand. You should have 4 cars.
You also said flat tire.
The 2 cars that we have at home right now, one is Rachel's. She'll take that up to school. One is Emma's.
So you don't have any cars?
I don't own a car. No.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Why wouldn't you lead with that?
I mean, technically, I own 2 cars, but they're Rachel and Emma's. And so me and Abby do not own cars, but we're getting around to it.
I don't think you are.
We'll buy them when we have to.
But you're halfway through your daughter's college career, and they still haven't taken their cars. What's going to change now?
So Rachel will take hers up this year. There was no need for her to have a car. Rachel will take hers up this year. Emma will not, because Emma is spending half the year abroad. She is going somewhere to study.
Exciting.
Why wouldn't you lead with, I don't have a car?
Yeah. It's a fair point, but Dan was asking. I was just explaining it's a rental car. I wasn't scamming anyone.
It's weird, though, that every week it's a different car, and it's many different weeks. Sometimes it's a big car, sometimes it's a small car, but it's never a car that I identify as Stugotz's car.
That's the part we haven't gotten to yet, is whose car are you driving today?
Today's a rental car.
Well, how long do you rent it for?
I mean, we rent it until they go back.
But what are they doing between the hours of, let's say, 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. when you get home that you can't use the car?
They're doing stuff. I don't know. They need a car. I mean, they're out training, shopping, spending my money, doing things that, smoking weed. I mean, I don't know what they're doing.
This car is a downgrade, though. The one that's presently here looks like you rented a cheaper version of the car that you usually rent.
There's nothing wrong with a Toyota Corolla.
I got it on purpose. What I said was, give me a smoking car. Because what happens is...
I knew it.
You rent these cars...
Knew it.
I don't believe that's a thing you can ask for.
No, you can. You rent these cars, right? And they're fresh and they're new, and there's a sign that says no smoking. And then I got busted because I had a cigarette one, and it was $450.
Oh, yeah.
And Abby was so mad at me.
Yeah.
So now when I walk in, I just say, hey, give me a clunker, 60,000 miles that has white stains all over the window. I mean, that's what I want, because that means I can smoke in it. Yeah. Chris, that's the tell for smokers. It has the white stuff on it.
I don't understand your economic knowledge in that, you're constantly renting cars at a rate that would cost more than just leasing a car.
Well, that's fair. I mean, we've thought about that.
What is the white stuff?
It's like the ashes. You hold a cigarette out the window,
honestly.
and the ashes go against the, the
Have
black
you ever
plastic.
seen at the airport when they have those little leprosy cages for the smokers?
Oh, yeah. I love those rooms.
How those windows get a bunch of colors on them. That's what it is.
I always smirk when I go by those rooms.
Yeah.
I have a feeling of superiority that I never had, because I'm not superior to anybody.
As you're wheezing, coughing.
I know, but when I go by the smoking
There's
room...
people in that room who are in better shape than you are.
I know
man.
they are, but they're still pathetic. They're on there.
I know. It feels pathetic, I can tell you.
Yeah, it does.
If you go into one of those smoking rooms, right? A lot of them are outdoor rooms, right? So you walk in and it's open air, right? If you go into some of them are. If you go into that, you're still technically in the airport, but you're outside. So if I were to land in Denver, for example, right, and then I step inside into the smoking room, but I have a connecting flight where I don't actually leave the Denver airport, can I say I've been in Denver?
I have seen in Miami's International Airport, one of the worst airports in the history of flight and aviation history, what I believe to be is a bar that has an open air space above.
TGI Fridays.
So
It's still there, Dana.
So that some of the smoke gets out and the windows are slightly less white with whatever cancerous gick.
It's no Nathan's, but I mean,
Yeah, it's foul. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatardShow. Do you feel an air of superiority when you walk past the smokers' lounge
you have to.
in the airport?
but why you're coughing? I mean,
You know,
Well, how long did you rent this car for, you guys?
airports should have eating rooms. You know, where you walk by and there's...
They're called restaurants.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about a dedicated eating room.
Right.
To be akin to the smoking room.
some nice tables.
Where it's a bunch of, like,
Right.
quite frankly, corpulent people.
Yes.
You
Comfy
know,
chairs.
Stuffing their face.
Yeah.
That's good advice. Get restaurants.
I like that.
No, I mean eating
An
rooms.
eating room,
You know,
yeah.
because one thing you hate,
Eating room.
I hate people eating when they shouldn't be eating. You know, like you're in a supermarket. People are eating grapes as they're walking through the store, cheating the market.
Put it on the poll, Juju, at LeBatardShow. Do you eat some grapes as you're walking through the supermarket?
can't.
No, but in the airport now, you get a bag of food. You come back to your seat. You're waiting in the area, you know, the gated area. And, you know, you take out the food. It's a Burger King chicken sandwich. And you open the wrapping up right, you know, in the seat right next to you. You're taking
Yeah.
up someone else's seat. It's inefficient. An eating room would be great for
An eating
everyone.
room would be-
Everyone wins.
I don't want to see anybody else eat, even in a restaurant. Who looks at other people eating?
Right, it's weird.
It's distasteful to
called
see
the
other people
right.
eating.
The food court eating area. They have these guys. We're
Bunch of
wrapped
places
surrounding
where-
all the
Very crowded.
restaurants.
I'm
A
not
bunch
sure.
of tables.
No privacy.
Greg, would you like one of those like in the dark dining experiences?
How dark is it?
No, they turn out the lights completely. You're
Really?
just there. You go on a date or whatever, and then it's pitch black, and then you're just eating in the
I'll
dark.
tell you one thing. I don't need light. I know where my mouth is. I don't know. I don't need a light. I don't need a map. You know, I know how to eat. I can eat with my eyes closed. I mean, come on now.
Roy, why did you come in limping today?
I'm 40 years old, Dan, and I've fallen off on the whole exercise thing. So, yes, I am actually 40.
When that
turned
happened?
40?
Happy
Yes.
birthday, Roy.
We
I
should have
turned
celebrated
40 in
this.
Big 4
When did that
July.
happen?
in July.
July.
11th.
To him.
Yeah.
I don't care. Good luck.
I didn't realize it was the big 4-0, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I've fallen off on the old exercise routine. So Anita and I have decided that it's time for me to get healthy. And last week,
Anid decided.
I like
yes,
how you put that.
Yeah, Anita. Notice her
And I
name went first.
decided
Yeah, you had no
that
say.
I need to stop gambling so much.
Yeah. That's
At the
other thing
poker
I'm doing.
tables. I have to stop going to the poker tables as much, and that was a collective decision by Anita and I.
Exactly.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Anid like a big runner? Like, doesn't she do like marathons and such?
Yes, she is, and that's how we got started on the whole exercise thing. We ended up running.
You're
Yeah.
How far did you run?
We we were supposed to run 2 miles. I probably ran 2 blocks. It was bad.
At least he did it at a nice time to be
Why
running.
are you limping?
Because I'm sore, Billy,
Because he's 40.
and I'm 40.
2 blocks.
2 blocks.
2 blocks.
That's my kind of distance running.
Tua, as you've never heard him. Next.
I'm getting bashed right now because I got to come and do this, and guys' routines are getting messed up.
Yeah.
Coming and hitting the simulator.
We are doing these interviews in their golf
Wait,
simulator.
they're mad because we're occupying their golf space?
Yes,
Really?
yes, during the break, yeah, before we're here
man.
with Tua Tagovailoa, and I wanted to start with you by apologizing to you because I botched our last interview from the Super Bowl, so I wanted to start there.
Oh, you're good. What do you mean you botched it?
Oh, I was just asking you one too many concussion questions.
It was right
He made
after,
it uncomfortable.
It was right after that all-star.
You were sitting next to me and Billy. We were at Radio Row with you. He made it uncomfortable. He stopped talking. We started talking, and the interview got better.
Oh, I
Do you
appreciate
remember
the
that? Yeah.
apology. I don't remember that. Okay, well,
But I
good.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Does it?
I feel better.
He doesn't remember Dan, though.
How do you,
I mean, I don't remember that you guys did that.
you look great.
Now that could go both
didn't do
ways.
anything,
I
by
don't
the way.
remember. And all right, that could go both ways. So I don't know. I was genuinely worried about you though at the time, as I imagine a lot of people, not just in South Florida, all over were. But I won't drown this interview in that. You seem in interviews that I've seen, because you and I, right when you came out of the league, we did something. We did a long form interview.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No. Dude, I mean, that's so long ago.
I'm like, God, it was on stage.
It was at the Super Bowl, but you seem like a different human being from then. You were coming out of college, and you've just grown with whatever the trials and tribulations of the last few years have been. Like it's been nice to watch your growth publicly into somebody who seems vocally more confident than he was then, because you were just a college kid. You were just coming out of college.
Yeah, it was different, for sure. That was 2 kids ago. That was a wife ago. Like all of that, and then you take into consideration like all the things that, for me personally, that I've had to go through the first couple years with the coaching staff then, and then now with the coaching staff that we have. I mean, it's just been a whirlwind, and there's been a lot of growth from year 2 and then going on to year 5 now, in that sense.
I've never seen an athlete like you in South Florida in terms of being polarizing when I don't understand why you're polarizing.
Oh, I don't understand why, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's funny.
Wait, you enjoy that?
Oh, it's funny because I can't control any of that.
Right.
But the cool thing about it is, like, you're being talked about whether it's good or bad. That's hilarious.
I said this.
That's hilarious. Like, whether it's good or bad, I mean, I don't care whether you have something good or something bad. That, everyone's entitled to their own opinion about someone, and I mean, I just don't understand too myself why it's so polarizing. Like, okay, if he can't do this, we say he can't do this, then he does it. Okay, wait, what is something else we got to? Okay, yeah, no, he can't do that, but he sucks at that. Yeah. No, but he actually did that. No, wait.
Find something.
No, wait. Dude, but remember 2 years ago, dude, he... So it's...
I have
think
to apologize.
It's funny.
I'm the master of doing that. So, and I've done it to you probably, so I'm sorry, too.
But that's okay, because that's essentially what analysts, or that's what the job asks of you guys to do, right? So does it bother me? No, because I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Vine, I'm on YouTube Shorts. So if I'll run through one of those, yeah, I mean, I'll see it, but I'm not on Instagram. I don't run my Instagram account, my Twitter account. Like, I don't run any of that. So I'm not on it to see it.
Yeah, but it makes life easier. Right? He doesn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I don't know. I just think a lot of people get caught up in that world, and it just takes a lot out of people. I've seen it firsthand. Not just for myself, because it has taken a lot out of me, for myself, because I've had Instagram and whatnot, would be on it like in college and whatnot. Then when I came into the league, that was sort of the change for me, where it's like, whoa, this is a different world, dude. And if I continue to like live in the world of, okay, what these people are saying about me, and then I get in my own head about that, and I try to go out and prove to them, like, no, I can. Well, that's not how this game works. Like, I don't think that's how life works, right? Like, who you are is who you are, and how you go about things, that's just what makes you you. And so you start to change for what other people want you to do. I mean, it just messes everything up for you just daily, because then you go to sleep and you lay your head down at night knowing that's not you. That's just not me. So I would say there's been growth a lot there, and it's really been the past, 4.5, 5 years, with social media and whatnot.
The heat of the position, though, the growth that you've had over the last couple of years of your strength, you are stronger. You're obviously someone who has the backing of an organization and a coaching staff. The person I met 3 or 4 years ago wasn't this forceful about go bleep yourself. I don't care what any of you think about anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was mature at the point yet. Now, would I go and tell that kid anything indifferent, to think that I would be in this position? Like, no, I would tell him, like, dude, whatever you're doing, go through it. You got to go through that in order to get to where you're at now. Like, that's just life, right? You continue to learn, you continue to take the mistakes with the success, and how you are from that. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you live with that. The mistakes, you live with that. Like, that's just life. I think once you start to have the perspective of it's not as bad as it seems and it's never as good as it seems, I think then you can start to really find out the quality of, okay, that was a really good mistake. Whereas, okay, last time, like, if it were any other time I made that mistake, I would have been so into myself, like into my head, like I couldn't get out. And now I'm so worried about that, I can't even focus on the next plays. I can't even focus on the next drives. So kind of taking that mentality of perspective,
Where and how did that get learned, though? That had to be hard with a coach before that perhaps didn't believe in you the way that this one does.
But I think that's where you get that opportunity to really understand the difference, right? You have someone that doesn't believe in you, and you see how you are. Then you have someone that does believe in you, and then you can see the growth there. Like, I understand how I was a couple years ago, even last year. Like, I'm not the same person I was last year. Next year, I won't be the same person I am because you're ever growing, you're ever evolving. And if not, like, then, there's, you sort of speculate on if there's anything more to life than just that. Because if you're not growing, you're getting worse, or, it's obviously going in the opposite direction.
You're not allowed to be stagnant at your position in this job.
Sure. I've wondered this for a while. With Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, if, let's say you're like, right before halftime, Waddle's got like 7 catches and Tyreek only has 1. Does Tyreek start getting in your ear about, hey,
nope,
he's got never?
Nope.
How about Waddle?
Nope.
Really?
What about River?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, I think we've all we've all established a good enough relationship to really know, like, okay, like last year we were in a way really trying to help get to that 200 or 2,000 yard mark. Right. I mean, it wasn't like we were trying to hide that, right? That was pretty obvious, trying to feed him the ball and whatnot. We all have a good enough relationship off the field to where Jalen can come up to me at any point, even in the games and whatnot, and tell me like, bro, I'm not messing with this. I need some shine too, and I can go up to Mike and say, hey, like, we need some more plays for X, in this drive or throughout this game. And Reek would be cool with that. Well, the cool thing about it was, like, Jalen knew, like, we were trying to do that for Reek, and he wasn't really like, he was like, dude, I'm just here to support, like,
awesome.
Whatever I can do. Like, if I get the ball, I'm making the best out of that opportunity and whatnot. So, like, those guys, I mean, they make it easy, but they are tough. That doesn't mean they're easy, to have conversations with, because they are unique in their own sense of personalities as well.
Were you getting any access to what everybody was saying about your value this offseason? What was the contract negotiation for you like? Were you able to separate yourself and say this is business? Or were you at some point saying I should be valued by these people at X amount?
Yeah, well, it was tough for me because for me, who you are as a person, regardless if it's business, if it's not business, that's how you are every time, right? You can't go from being the nicest person to being an asshole, like, when it comes to business. Like, to me, you're either a really nice person a good amount of times and you know how to talk to people, or you're an asshole that's trying to pretend to be a nice person. Like, there's just no personality of being nice and then being an asshole and then being an asshole and then trying to be nice. I just think who you are, like, if you're gonna be an asshole, okay, noted. Like, that's normally who you are, like, essentially. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Can nice people, get going? Sure, but within business, you got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how emotional intelligence works. You got to know all of that. You got to know how to deal with people, how to maneuver through things and do it the right way. For me, it would have been hard for me to have been involved a lot within the process of that, because I didn't want any of what they had to say to be told to me and my guys what they had to say to them. So it was like, hey, I'm out of this. You guys go in there. You guys go talk about this. Let me know when this thing is done. It was long, for sure. It was long, but it's not like you're saying, hey, can we get $2 here? Like, no, it's $1 million is a lot, let alone how much I just got paid. So, that's why I think it took long. It's not as easy as saying, like, hey, yeah, can you just send me $5 through Venmo?
Did you ever think it was not going to get done?
I didn't not
Never?
think that it was. Yeah, because I've had a good amount of conversations with Stephen Ross about it.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'll still go cheap on?
Cheap on?
I'm still going BOGO at Publix. Now with the new deal.
Oh no, brother. I'm the same, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you would go shopping anywhere else,
Yeah, the BOGO is strong. When I see BOGO, it's like I'll take 3 of these.
But you're not looking for discounts or anything like that.
I'm still
Tua, come on.
Give me an example of you still being
That's so great with coupons.
Dude, you're going on DoorDash or something?
Yeah.
Dude, give me the 50% off.
Oh, you don't do the $2.99 for the quick?
Dude, go to Uber. Dude, the marketplace, you just I don't know. Oh, buy one get one free. Okay, you get that. Dude, I mean,
I don't like it when it's buy 7 and get 3. It's just be BOGO or don't be BOGO. I don't like this buy 6 and you get 4.
You're always going Uber premium. You're not Ubering below the premium, are you?
The priority, so you were up first.
You're not getting one of those Miami cars that smell like feet and cheese.
He says I have a driver. No, what? I drive. No, I drive myself. I'm driving myself around. The only time is that we get a driver. Me and Anna get a driver is normally when it's a little later dinner in Miami, just because of how far that is from Fort Lauderdale area. And so it's okay, we're probably gonna be full and a little tired after we eat, so probably just gonna want to relax. And so that's normally when we'd get a driver, but I'm driving myself everywhere.
Wow.
When you signed the contract, did you make some sort of ridiculous purchase for you or your family?
No. I haven't made a ridiculous purchase.
Has that first direct deposit hit yet? With the new amount where you're whoa?
Well, he's still under the old deal,
Oh,
right?
that's how it
Still
works.
under,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
Whoa.
The signing bonus.
That thing clears though, that first one.
Whoa.
There's something, a little money.
But we haven't gotten anything.
We've said too much.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
It's just a little invasive.
I mean, we didn't say enough.
Yeah, let's say more.
Well, it was unusual to see you on the sidelines with a microphone. You were clearly ebullient. You were effervescent. You were really happy, and you were vocal about it.
Those are some huge words. What did you just say?
Happy.
You were happy. You were happy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Whoa.
It was like
Flamboyant.
a champagne bottle opening. You were out there. Show me the money seemed to be a little bit out of character for you.
Show me the money. Well, the reason that came out was because somebody dared me that I wouldn't do it. So that's why I did the show me the money.
Classic Raheem.
Who dared you? Who did it? Come on.
Classic Raheem, huh? What do you think, Tyreek?
I don't.
No?
Tyreek sounds like
Okay.
like it might
I
be
think
Tyreek.
Waddle, to be honest with you.
Waddle?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it wasn't them.
It was.
I'll keep going.
Were you surprised Saban stopped coaching?
I was actually, yeah. I was. But I played after he ended up retiring, I maybe played golf with him, maybe like a month or two after.
Who's giving strokes there?
He was giving me strokes.
Wow.
He's a good little player, I guess.
But you were surprised.
But I feel like I'm a sandbagger though.
I know I am.
But outside, you can ask Saban about that match. That was hilarious.
Okay, but you were surprised.
What are we playing for? How much a hole?
It wasn't that much.
Okay.
It wasn't that much.
You ever take you on the boat and throw you around on the raft?
Well, he did when we were in Tuscaloosa, but we had the whole conversation about, hey, why'd you retire, this and that, and he gave the whole spiel. And I thought it was crazy. I told him I would have thought he would have died coaching at the University of Alabama, but I guess not.
Was there anyone in your family a couple of years ago urging you to retire, telling you we're worried about you?
Yeah, I would say for sure, especially with what happened with the concussions and whatnot. But we went and seen a doctor. I got to go see the doctor and whatnot. Got to get all the information that I needed to hear from him on whether it was a good idea or whether it wasn't a good idea. And got to sit down with them, and I basically told them what I wanted to do.
Who was the most vocal in your family telling you, why don't we just stop this? I love you too much. Football's too dangerous. It's just dangerous.
It wasn't too vocal, but it was just brought up like here and there, like, I don't think you should continue to play and whatnot, but we'll always support what you want to do. And it's more so like my mom. Yeah. Like, and I get it, like, I mean, I got kids too now, and it's like you can understand why the mothers are the way they are.
Is playing guitar the most romantic thing you do?
Playing guitar? Mm-hmm. Who said I can play the guitar?
I've seen, I think on Hard Knocks we saw some strung in. I've heard, a little birdie. I've heard,
Dude,
I have some sources.
He's got sources.
We were told you might have one
we'll
here
go
that
fire
you
them.
bring.
Well, first of all, there was some social media clip of you playing something.
Really?
Was it during Hard Knocks or something? You've been out there with your guitar.
Are you denying your guitar
breaking
playing?
this.
Are you denying your romance?
No. I'm not a romantic guy.
The romance part I was assuming. I just know you to be a guitar player.
He's denying playing the guitar. Is what
I
he's
don't
doing,
think
but
he's doing that.
No.
Yeah, dude, I love playing the guitar.
There we go.
You broke him down. Investigative journal.
What's your go-to tune when you're playing guitar?
Honestly, I don't really have like a go-to tune. It's just picking up the feeling of picking up the guitar and then going through like the sequences of chords and then what sounds nice when you're finger picking and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
how's your air guitar? There you go. Yeah, it's pretty strong.
it's like playing the bass.
Yeah,
slapping the bass.
Yeah, this guy
Slapping the
gets it.
bass.
Yeah.
You are doing that. When you take us over the last couple of years, is there one game that you look at that brings back the memories of being happiest, of just being the happiest you've been playing football as a Dolphin?
Yeah, the Broncos game.
You said the Broncos game?
I mean, that Ravens fourth quarter was pretty good.
And I would say the last 2 years have just been life-changing for me. Just within the fact of the support that I've had from Mike, from our quarterback room with Bev, and then just the support that I've had with my teammates. A lot of them being vocal. And then obviously the first year that Mike's been here was, he sort of took like a big step of being vocal. And he didn't really know. Like, he was just telling me, like, dude, I believe in you, this and that. But, like, he's taking a big chance with what he's saying, right? Like, we only have the past 2 years of what I put on tape. And it's like, dude, yeah, like, you can throw these intermediate routes, but, like, we haven't seen much long balls or we haven't seen this and that. And for him to have done that and then, I mean, we've had a winning season every season, but it's just, like, getting to the big games and like what we do in the big games, that's been essentially what we've been honing on last year and this year.
Let's make sure Kansas City has to come here this year.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, right?
You in for that? I'm in for that.
Are we all in for that? I mean, my gosh. Dude, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Mike McDaniel told us that you're the most accurate quarterback he had ever had?
Probably not. I would say probably not. No.
Can you explain to us, last question before we get you out, can you explain to us the difference in practical terms between having a coach who did believe in you the way that he did and the difference between that and what was happening with Flores?
Yeah. Well, to put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you sucked at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad. And you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself. And so that's sort of like what ended up happening. And it was, I mean, it's basically been, 2 years of training that out of not just me, but, a couple of the guys as well that have been here since my rookie year all the way till now.
It's been great to see your success.
Yes.
Great to
I
see
appreciate
someone
it.
as fundamentally decent as you are rewarded. So thank you
appreciate
for
that.
all of your work down here.
My life as I know it is about to drastically change forever. And the reason I say that, as many of you know, I'm going to be a father coming up in December to a baby girl, and it's crazy, and I can't believe it. And a lot of my life is going to change, but there's one thing in my life that's going to be constant. And since 1975, this original light beer has been a constant, a mainstay for the entire planet. And it's going to continue to be a mainstay for me. It's Miller Lite. They keep it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. It's a light beer that actually tastes like beer. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. And it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. I will when my daughter's born with a tall, cold glass of Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.